Does anyone have a question? People often ask, why do I have to be part of a group? Why can't I sit and do the meditation on my own? And, I always answer, yes, you can sit and do the meditation on your own. Nobody's going to stop you. And if that's what your choice and your path is, then fine, do it. And if you can succeed at it, all the better. But, the wonderment and the greatness of having a group of people is, here literally in this class 3 times a week, in the other class 4 times a week, the energy becomes so powerful and so deep that resistance breaks down. And we have to really open to allow it to touch us in the deepest part of our inner being. The energy of a group of people sitting and doing this is very, very powerful. And it's, designed to be that way, and uh, I always believed that it's something that one has to take advantage of. It's something that just almost doesn't exist. You go to congregations and churches, synagogues, there's no energy. You understand? People are praying and doing their spiritual work that way. But there isn't the kind of energy that exists in an hour meditation, such as we just sat through. It's something very precious. And it's something that, we have to truly respect and have humility in terms of the way we approach it, and to truly use that same humility in the way we live our lives. People think that humility is weakness. Humility is not weakness. Humility is to have true humility and to truly be humble in this world. You have to be so strong inside to keep the world from destroying that type of innocence and that kind of love. The strength is beyond anything that any of these politicians and people in power can even dream about, because innocence gets wiped away very quickly if people are not rooted and grounded inside and have an enormous amount of strength in order to be used to sustain that kind of innocence and humility. It's really a question of paradise lost. We're born, we come out innocent and beautiful and lovable and sweet and delicious. And we go to the grave, wrinkled up and angry and upset and unhappy. And we've taken the voyage of life, and all the things that are difficult in life have taken over. And they have transformed us into somebody who is, no longer maintains and sustains that sweetness of birth. And yet, to do deep inner work is to revive that sweetness, is to regenerate that sweetness, resurrect that sweetness. And in resurrecting it, we also, to do that, we have to build a system that will keep, all the nonsense of life from taking it away from us. I mean, look, even you take a book like the Bible, what is it? It's the story of creation to the Messiah. And in hundreds and hundreds of pages, I mean, beautifully written, and it's very profound. You have human beings evolving and learning, to ultimately attain a state of enlightenment. The Messiah comes. My interpretation has always been, the child of God is born inside each and every human being. That is the Messiah, when a person attains a state of enlightenment. So you got to go through the rough and tumble of life to build a system that enables one to sustain the innocence of a messianic inner state of being, to become one with God, to be free of all of this rough and tumble, this thing called karma that we have to get free of. Does anybody have a question they would like? And nobody ever said this is easy. It's not easy. It requires a commitment that's beyond any kind of commitment a human being can make in this. To do what? To finally get free of themselves. That's really interesting. We're committed in doing deep spiritual practice to get free of the one person who keeps us from having a spiritual life. It's ourselves. And that to me is pretty fantastic. How simple the whole thing is. And yet we live in a very complicated world because mostly the world is controlled by ego, mind, intellect, analysis, everybody trying to figure out the right way of living according to the way they see the world. Does anyone have a question they would like? And I finally came to the conclusion there is no right way to live. You just have, however life manifests for us, it is our job to use whatever we learn in that manifestation to build a connection that deepens with higher energy in the universe. And it's not going to manifest the same for any two people sitting in this class. All the class is about is building the strength to transform it, however it manifests into a spiritual life. So there's nothing to be ashamed of, whatever you've gone through in your past. There's no guilt. There's no, you know, just build an inner life that can transform it into a spiritual life. And I think we're all born here to learn how to do that. Otherwise, what is this all about? This thing we have to deal with every day. Does anybody have a question they would like to ask? Well, it's really, just to finish this, it's really good to take a look in the mirror. And what is the mirror? It's your life. And the things that you don't like about the mirror are just things you don't like about yourself. Change inside, the reflection will change. I once wrote a short story a long time ago called The Mirror, about a young man who wakes up, he's a college student, wakes up one morning, looks in the mirror and he can't see himself. And he goes through the entire story looking for himself. And, all kinds of events and things happen to him, only to discover that everybody can see him. But he is the only person who can't see himself. And it makes him really invisible. And it's really, there's a great truth in that. We go around seeing everybody, and the only person that we miss is ourselves. We don't see ourselves. And inner work is about opening that incredible vault of consciousness that exists inside us and allowing ourselves to travel the path through ourselves to spiritual enlightenment. And I love that whole thing because then you can't blame anybody. It's nobody else's fault. And we're masters at blaming the world for everything that's wrong with us. Nobody else's fault. We can grow and use whatever manifests in our life as a reason to get closer to God if we use it properly, consciously. Does anyone have a question? Okay, as I announced before the class, I'm going to have a class tomorrow evening, 7:30. If you live in Israel or Europe and you'd like to attend, just let me know and we'll send you a special invitation. It's Rudy's birthday. Rudy is very sacred in my life. Without Rudy, I wouldn't be here today teaching what I'm doing. I promise you that. Without Nityananda, without Rudy, without these great, great teachers that have been in my life, I couldn't have been here today. I probably wouldn't have lived past the age of 35. So God bless them. It's the day he came in the world, January 24th. We'll have a class. As I say, if you live in Israel or Europe and you'd like to attend, just let me know. I'll have Jennifer send you a special invitation. If not, everyone else will get an invitation to the class. Thank you. Bless you all. Thank you for being in my life, for being here, for doing this work with me, and just helping me certainly to grow. And God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Stuart.
See you Sunday. Tomorrow night.